Y'all know what time it is, man. It is time to react to more NBA Twitter hot takes. First of all, I know y'all see Omar on the screen, man. What's going on? But we got some takes to react to today, and let's get right into it. Basketball Fan says Finals MVP is generally a bad idea for an award and easily the most overrated accolade, but we ignore it because it usually goes to the best player on a title team. Honestly, I agree. I feel like the Finals MVP is one of the more overrated awards in the NBA. Number one, it's really just a 7-game sample size at most. Number two, again, there are cases where the award goes to not the actual best player in the series. Most of the time it does go to the best player on the winning team, and there are certain individuals that put a lot of emphasis to this award, whether that be Jordan fans and how Jordan went 6 for 6 with 6 Finals MVPs, or how Curry haters criticize Curry because he doesn't have a Finals MVP, stuff like that. That to me doesn't make sense. However, with every award, I think it just comes down to context. You have to use context when it comes to talking about anything in basketball. And like I just said, there are cases in NBA history where the award doesn't go to the best player in the series. However, a majority of the time it actually does. And it's a general indication of a player being extremely valuable in a series. Whether you deserve it or not, I think if you get this award, that is some sort of indication that you were really important to a series, a pivotal series, a series that determines the winner of the season. So it is important in that sense, but I do agree. I feel like it is overrated. Next tweet we got is from Cage8, and he says the Celtics this year, with all the new pieces around them, have a strong chance at a championship, considering the Nets are most likely going to implode again due to how history has shown itself to reoccur for Harden and Kyrie. What does that mean the Celtics have to hop in? Why not like the Bucks again? Why not the Sixers even if they trade Ben Simmons? Why not the Heat? Why the Celtics? Now, I do agree. I feel like the Celtics offseason has been slept on. They didn't make any major moves, but they did a lot of fine-tuning when it comes to fit on the roster. Traded away Kemba Walker to get Al Horford. And although they lost a good point guard, they did get Dennis Schroeder on a 1-year, pretty much minimum for what he's actually worth. They also got Chris Dunn as a backup point guard. Still have Marcus Smart, still have Jaylen Brown, still have Jason Tatum. Made front office changes that I feel like were extremely needed. I'm very excited to actually see the Celtics this year with their new additions, but I disagree with this take, man. I don't know why it's the Celtics specifically that you think is gonna come out of the East. However, if they do, man, this is one of those takes. If I get proven wrong, I'm smiling. I want to get proven wrong. Ben Simmons had a major part of the Sixers falling apart, not 100% his fault. I completely agree. I feel like Ben Simmons has gotten a lot of the criticism, and rightfully so. I'm not about to sit here and say he didn't deserve the criticism he got. However, it wasn't 100% his fault. Number one, you have to give credit to the Atlanta Hawks to some degree, man. To some degree. But also, Joel Embiid wasn't fully healthy in this series. Tobias Harris was playing like cheeks. Doc Rivers is a part to blame as well. Again, it wasn't all just Ben Simmons, but I feel like the reason why Ben Simmons got a lot of the slack is because throughout of all of Philly's lack of success when it comes to getting to the finals, Ben Simmons has been the common denominator in all of that. And you could say Joel Embiid as well, but in a lot of those series, Embiid actually played well, while Ben Simmons has had some shoddy moments. Vince YTWT says James Harden is better than Jimmy Butler talent-wise, but Butler is proven to be a leader and has more playoff success than Harden. Therefore, he ranks one spot above Harden on the best players in the NBA. Now, I feel like a lot of this take, if not all of this take, is based off of Jimmy Butler's 2020 NBA bubble, NBA Finals run. And to say that Jimmy Butler has had more playoff success solely pretty much because of that, I feel like is false. When it comes to leadership, James Harden, when he's on your team, you're pretty much guaranteed to win 50 games every single year. When James Harden was on the Rockets, they were a perennial top team in the Western Conference. I believe it was 2016 they had an off year, but ever since then, they've been one of the best teams in the Western Conference. That is nothing to scoff at. And I would say that consistency of leading the Rockets to the playoffs, to those levels of success every single year in the Western Conference when Harden was in Houston, and even in his short time in Brooklyn when he was healthy, I believe that's enough to say that he is a better leader than Jimmy Butler. And then talent-wise, you already admitted that James Harden is better than Jimmy Butler in that sense. So I once again disagree. Loss says the Pistons have a brighter future than OKC. I don't want to fully agree, but I also don't disagree. I feel like it's very easy to look at OKC and say that they have a brighter future simply for the number of first round picks that they have. However, I feel like that's not a good metric of mentioning and measuring how good of a future a franchise has. As we've seen in the last couple of years, in the last decade, a team's future is not just based off of the assets that they have, it's based off of what they do with those assets. For example, the Boston Celtics had all the assets in the world in the mid 2010s, every single one, to the point where everyone was literally saying if there is a free agent available or if there's a star available for trade, the Boston Celtics are the #1 destination simply for how much they can offer to that team. However, because of how they managed those picks, the personnel that they put together and how they fit together, and also injuries as well, they never reached an NBA Finals, let alone actually won the championship. So if the Pistons develop their roster better, if the Pistons have better chemistry, if the Pistons have better coaching, they can still have a brighter future than OKC despite all of the assets that OKC has. Also, the Pistons are in the Eastern Conference. That might contribute a little bit. SJL for the street says in a few years, both Tatum and Luka gonna be top in the NBA and top 50 all time when they retire. Hey, if you watch the pod, you know how much we love Luka. So Luka might already be top 10. That's a troll. I know a lot of y'all are going to comment right now, B-Souls doesn't know what he's talking about. He has Luka top 10 all time. That is a troll statement. Watch the podcast, man. But in regards to the first half of this tweet, I don't know. Giannis is still there. Jokic is still there. Luka, I would agree. I would agree with Luka. It's the Tatum part that, and I love Tatum, man. Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is one of my favorite players in the league, and I literally go to Celtics games to watch him play. But I gotta face reality. There's a lot of competition when it comes to that, top 2 players in the NBA in the next coming years. Luka Magic is the best player in the world. I agree. I agree. Once again, that's a troll. That is a troll. Y'all gotta relax. Dom Got Game has 4 takes for us. Number 1, Phoenix won't make the conference finals. I can't fully agree, but I also can't fully disagree. As we saw with the last playoffs, injuries can really change a lot. So to say that they just won't make the conference finals literally a year prior is a very, very, very big leap. Number 2, whoever traded for Ben Simmons will win the trade. I disagree. I disagree. If the Sixers get someone in return that's actually going to fit their roster way better and they make it to the finals and hypothetically win the championship, then they won the trade. I don't care what happens. Number 3, the Boston Celtics will resurge as a true contender in the 2022-2023 season. Man, what's up with the Celtics love this hot take, Viv, man? I like it. I like it. It's too far into the future for me to see. I'm just really hoping for them to have a good season this year, and then hopefully we can, make more moves on top of that. But in 2023, 2 years from now, I still think, barring injury, the Nets will still be up there. The Bucks still will be up there as long as they have Drew, Chris Middleton, and Giannis. The Atlanta Hawks have a really bright future. Who knows? But I'm not fully against that. Number 4, the Denver Nuggets will have a bottom 4 playoff seed this season, but make the conference finals in the 2022-2023 season. Do you know something about the 2023 season that we don't know? I don't know what's up, bro. Just enjoy this upcoming season, man. You're thinking too far ahead. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the game. Rennie IO says James Harden is the most valuable player for the Nets, but KD is the best player on the team. Hey. That's tough for KD, man. This is the second straight team he's on where they are saying this, bro. I remember back when KD was on the Warriors, they were saying that Curry was the most valuable player on the team, but KD was the best player. And that was in a situation where it's the same damn thing. But honestly, I agree. James Harden is by far their best playmaker, and when he's not on the court and when he's not fully healthy, the amount of playmaking on the team drastically goes down. I know in the last year, the definition for what playmaking is has a lot of ambiguity, but I'm more so talking about James Harden's passing ability when he has a ball in his hands when I say what I just said. But I low-key agree. Ballistic says Ben Simmons is just a tall Ricky Rubio. Y'all are going crazy. And then Zavi in the comments says maybe in the future. So far, Ricky has proven to be better. Y'all are wildin', man. Y'all are wildin'. I ain't even gonna say anything. Diego says that Giannis isn't a top 3 power forward in the league right now. Literally, the only way this makes sense is if he thinks KD, LeBron, and Kawhi are power forwards, and then he has Giannis at forward. That is the only way this makes sense to me. You gotta explain yourself, my guy. You have to elaborate. JC Russell says, never in the history of the NBA have we had a point where the number of players who could be considered the best in the world is as deep as it is going into this season. And I completely agree. Even on the latter half of the top 10, when you can make a case that players like Jokic, Luka, and Harden are in the ladder of the top 10, and you think about how valuable and how skilled they are, I agree. But even if you look at the top 5, I don't think there's ever been an era where there's literally like 4 players you can argue that are the best players in the world. Right now, those 4 to me are Kawhi, Giannis, LeBron, and Curry. That's never been the case. The closest I can think of right now, I don't even know. Maybe in the early 2000s when Kobe, Shaq, and Duncan were peaking. Maybe in the 60s when Big O, Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bill Russell were all at their peak. But even back then, it was pretty clear that it was like, from what I know, it was like Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and then everyone else. This is the closest it's been to me. Cam, the Chicago Sun, shout out to Cam, you know what I'm saying, Green Room fam, bars. But he says the Bulls can be an Eastern Conference Finals contender easily, in all caps, if their pieces mesh properly. I mean, if any team's pieces mesh properly, they can reach the Eastern Conference Finals and get swept. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, the Bulls have had a really impressive offseason. I'm very excited to see how they play. Very excited for their future. For the people who've been watching this channel recently and honestly the last couple of years, y'all know I'm a pretty big Zach LaVine fan. I've always been high on him. And for him to actually have a squad, 1, the pressure is on, but 2, I'm very excited to see that as well. I said this in a previous video before. The reason why I have Zach LaVine so high is because last season we kind of saw that we can't really judge Trae Young and Devin Booker's rankings and criticize them for quote-unquote putting empty stats because they were putting up stats while not winning games. And then we saw last year, give them a competent squad and they can make a pretty deep playoff run. So that's the reason why I put Zach LaVine so high in my top 50. However, now that Zach LaVine actually has a squad, the pressure is on. And if he underperforms with the squad that he has, I will move him down. But I think he can make this work. Hollywood MJJ23 says Carmelo Anthony should be in the closing lineup for the Lakers. His offense is going to be more impactful than Ariza's defense, which fell off significantly. I feel like it's situational with this Lakers squad. Whatever is working, whatever is needed, and I think that's for most basketball teams. It's situational. If you need more defense in the last couple of minutes in the game, then you have to make those adjustments. Also, depending on the roster or the lineup the other team is running, you're also going to have to make those adjustments. So it's a big it depends to me. That's going to be it for today's video. If you guys want to be in another iteration of this video, go ahead, follow me on Twitter, man, bsouls_. But with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm out. Peace.